Greetings and welcome to another video. Where am I? I'm in Wellington at the moment, specifically just by the Wellington clock. Let's see if I can get you in properly. Hang on a minute. The Wellington Community Clock, which is in the centre of Wellington. Yeah. Behind me, you've got the Beacon Pub. Turn around this way. You've got the Subway, the Sarnie Bar. You've got another pub called the Dun Cow, which is doing a karaoke night, as you can hear. And yeah. When it comes to having a social situation in Telford, the two best places to go are Wellington, which is where we are now, or Oaken Gates. Because Wellington and Oaken Gates, towns in their own right, which are part of Telford, which was created back in the 1960s. Both those places have the best pubs located within walking distance of each other and all that, so there we are. Just walking past the station, hotel and bar. Also having a karaoke night tonight, so yeah. No point in talking over the noise, but yeah. We are now at Wellington train station. Within Telford, there are 3 train stations. There's Wellington train station, where we are now. Then there's Oaken Gates train station. And then there's Telford Central train station. Let's see. All 3 of which sit on the service going between Shrewsbury and Birmingham New Street. So yeah. Yeah, but like I say, if you're going out for drinks or having a social night out within Telford, then within Telford Town Centre, which is where the Telford Central train station is, just go to a Southwater development, and they're more like restaurants, fancy places to eat, like a Harvester, Nando's, all that kind of stuff. But which is all well and good if you want something to eat, but still. Yeah, if your idea of a good night out is going to a restaurant, having something to eat, and food is your priority over random drinks and all that, then going to Telford Town Centre and Southwater is and should be your first point of call. There we are. But if you want a more standard pub orientated time out where you just want to chill out with your friends and have a couple of beers and all that, then Oaken Gates and Oaken Gates and Wellington are really the way to go, because within Telford, Oaken Gates and Wellington are the places to go if you want to go to the best pubs in town. And also, if you are desperate for food, they are kind of ideal for kebabs, takeaway food, that kind of thing. You know what, this isn't exactly the video I was intending to make. But you know what? Gotta practice. But yeah, is Telford the greatest place in the world for culture and heritage and the related stuff from there? I don't know. Wouldn't make it as a top 10 place. I mean, it's like there's a lot of heritage going on. You shouldn't take Telford as face value. Telford as Telford, it's an artificial construct, right? It's only been existing since 1960s, and since then it's had different regenerations. It's evolved, it's become more than what it was. So if you're looking for culture and heritage and history, then thinking of Telford as Telford, it's a terrible idea. Instead, you've got to break Telford down to its component parts, its bits and pieces. The towns and villages that existed here for centuries, long before what we know of Telford to have ever existed. Like Ironbridge, for example, and Coalbrookdale, both of which sit on the River Severn, and combined were the birthplace of the industrial revolution, which changed the world forever. And all because of, when you look back, a minor way, well, that's the thing, hindsight, 2020, vision, never there when you need it. But the Industrial Revolution started because I think it was Abraham Darby himself, back in the day, had a brand new idea on how to organise fuel to power the industrial machine. And it turned out to be cheaper and easier than what they'd been doing already. And that changed the world forever. So And that was back in the 1770s. Alright? And from that, you got a lot of culture and heritage just because from engineering. Then you've got places like Wellington, Montgomery, it might go as far back as 1066, if not sooner, earlier. And there have been people living in the area now known as Telford, going back 4, maybe 5,000 years. Roman Empire was here, Roxeter, which I think, yeah, an important Roman site, still exists. Yeah, you can go there, all that jazz. So, what am I saying? I remember when I was a teenager, I hated Telford, resented the place, even. I always thought that Telford was a dead-end town where people only came to retire and die. I had no appreciation for the place, and back in the day I had no reason to have any appreciation for the place. That's pretty much a true story. But more recently, fast forward to about 4 or 5 years ago, I start to learn things about the history of Telford and why Telford is called Telford. Which was oddly enough after a Scottish engineer called Thomas Telford. Who did all kinds of amazing stuff to drag the UK into the modern age. I mean, you got other people like Charles Darwin. Yes, he was from Shrewsbury, which is 10 miles down the road from here. But, I don't know. I mean, you got other people as well. So many names I can't mention right now. But past few years, I've acquired a few history books, like local history kind of thing. And I've been slowly learning about the history of not only Telford, but also its component parts like Oakengates, Madeley, Donington, Montgomery, Wellington. And the more I learn, the more I appreciate. So it's weird. I'm not a native born to Telford. My family only moved here when I was only, maybe like 8, 9, 10 years old. But we've been here ever since. Aside from when I myself was off at university. That's another story for another time. But I now consider Telford to be my hometown. Because I guess it's the longest, ever since 1990, 1991, we've been here, and yeah, it's weird. There's been so many things I've taken for granted, and had no time or appreciation for in the past. But recently, it's been a slow and difficult process. But I've started to re-evaluate so many things and relearn so many things, and because of all that, I've now got a newfound appreciation of Telford and the history that this place held over the centuries. Even, yes, Telford is, as I said, Telford as we know now is an artificial construct, and people should be careful about to what extent they should trust artificial constructs, because such things end up being sterile and fake and meaningless, which is probably one reason when I was younger I never liked Telford in the first place, because everything about it was sterile and fake and artificial, and why should I care about this place? Yeah, why should I care about a place that I myself had no historical or emotional connection to, or any other kind of conceivable connection to? Why should I care about Telford? Because, as I just said, since Telford as we know it was created in the 1960s, it was an artificial, sterile, force-fed place. But the trick is, as I've learnt, do not think about Telford as Telford. Yes, the place has had several regeneration projects put into it over the years, and the place as we know it now is much better than it was 5 years ago, or 10 years ago, or 20 years ago, or 30 years ago. Telford still has its problems, which need to be fixed and addressed and brought out to be open, to be sorted out. That's true. But if you really want to appreciate and learn about Telford, as I found out the hard way, you need to break it down into its component parts. Learn about the towns and villages that exist within and immediately around Telford. Learn about Madeley, Dorley, Wellington, Trench, Donington, Rockredine, Legomri. You know, mate, it's one of them. Telford does have a vast, long history of culture and heritage. There's a lot of amazing things going on in this place, but in my opinion, not as Telford. No. While Telford, as we know it as Telford, is getting better, Telford is still, to one degree or another, despite the vast improvements, an artificial construct. Right? Telford is an artificial construct. It did not naturally evolve. And all the things it has did not occur naturally over the natural standard evolution of any society or town or community or whatever you want to label it. It was just artificially thrown under one thing, one label, and cobbled together quite randomly. It's only the past, I don't know, 10 years at most that I've been aware of that things have happened more naturally, a natural evolution of things. But if you want to really understand the real natural history, the real natural evolution of the culture and the heritage and all those other things that Telford has to offer, then you need to break down Telford into its natural component parts. Oakengates, St George's, Lawley, Dawley, Wellington. It's only within its component parts will you be able to see an actual rich heritage and history. It's rare for anyone to see, but only if you're willing to put in the time and effort to look for it. And I'm saying that not only to people in Telford themselves, who may or may not feel, as I once did, what is Telford other than a pile of shite, but to also outsiders of Telford. If you want to see something nice and decent and amazing about Telford, don't think about it as Telford as we know it today. Break it down into its component parts, St George's and all the other places, and it's those component parts that the smaller towns and villages in and around Telford where you will find the real history, the real characters, the real something to be impressed about regarding Telford. All of these things I've just said, I will try to explore and try to explain about in future videos, because it's something I'd like to do. I don't know what's the point of this video, because it turned out to be completely different from what I first thought. Am I trying to defend Telford? Yes and no. There are some things about this place which, for whatever reason, cannot be defended. But then there are other things about this place which can be and should be defended because of its rich cultural heritage and historical significance that various places may, whether it be by accident or design, various places within Telford changed the world for the better. It's just one of them. But in future videos I will make some kind of attempt to explain further what I mean in this video. So what's the point of everything I just said? I just wanted to, I don't know, get off my chest some thoughts and ideas going on. All up for proper and more informed things come again. On that note, I have reached my destination, which is this place in Montgomery, Chepstow Drive. I'm ending this video here because it's gone on for long enough. take care of yourselves. Take care of yourselves, take care of your friends, take care of your family. I'm sorry this video lasted and rambled for a lot longer than I intended, but all the same, thank you for listening to what I've had to say and everything else. And last thing song. Take care and goodbye.